Carl, such a pleasure to have you right here with me. So I would love to hear from you why it is you do what you do.
Okay, what a great question. But what I do is I try to bring the good stuff to people in the construction industry who are greatly removed from a lot of it. And the reason I do that is because about 30 years ago, I discovered it and it changed my life for the better. And so the reason I do what I do is to help the young guys, the young gals coming into the construction trades to gain a foothold on what will help them to become successful. And for us, success is not necessarily starting a business. Success is sometimes surviving long enough
Mm.
to raise a family, make a home, do what you want to do. And typically, people coming into construction, they don't have a lot of exposure to all of that. I found out about Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins about 30 years ago, and that made a huge difference in my life. Instead of struggling in many ways, it's like, wait a minute, why don't I do what he said? And I would try some of the things that they did and suggest it, and it worked. And now, since it's worked, I'm looking at the younger guys and gals and saying that famous question, what would you tell your younger self?
Hmm.
Here's what I tell you: do things differently, and here's what you can do. Choose what you like, but go ahead and do it.
That is amazing. So I want to go back to part of your earlier answer where you say you bring the good stuff
Yeah.
to the construction arena. So I want to hear more about that good stuff.
Well, the good stuff is about things like investing in yourself. The good stuff
Oh.
is about believing that you don't have to do what others have done because that's a standard, but rather invest in yourself, invest your money ahead of time, pay yourself first, for example. Now, a lot of people don't
Mm.
understand that, but when a dollar comes in, you worked really hard for that dollar, you should get the first 10 cents out of it. Not the rent, not the bank, not the car payment. The first 10 cents should be for you. And I had never heard that before, but I learned it from Brian Tracy many years ago. And I was like, wait, I should do that. Why am I working so hard and somebody else is getting their money first? But that's the kind of good stuff that had a huge impact on my life. And so I want to be that someone 40 years down the line saying to my younger self in the form of a young guy or a young gal and saying, you could do this. It works. Joanna, and maybe they will.
I certainly hope that they will because it sounds like you are so generous with your knowledge and you really do care about those coming up in the construction industry and you want them to do better and you want them to be better, hopefully.
Yes, that's the whole purpose of why I speak to people. I want them to do better than they are now. I started with nothing. I've been broke 3 times. It was a struggle for many, many years. But when I learned about some of the good stuff, things changed for the better. And it's something I want to share.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Carl. That was really wonderful.
Well, thank you, Roz, for your time and this presentation. Thank you.
Absolutely.